All right, guys, welcome back to the TIRALOSI Twins Podcast. Yep, and today we have on Nameless James on TikTok, has over 700,000 followers, and I believe 58,000 on Instagram. So definitely, that's impressive, especially on Instagram too.
Thank you.
How did you get started?
Yeah, I think my story for hopping on TikTok is similar to a lot of people, where March 2020, when everything sort of closed down, the app was, already gaining popularity. So if you didn't have an account, you just made one and got on to pass time while being inside. And that's what I did. And I figured I had some time on my hands. Why not try making a couple videos? And just ran with that. And, now we're here 2 years later, and it's my full-time thing, and I'm going to keep it going and take it as far as I can.
Yeah, that's sick. So wait, are you focusing on mostly TikTok for now at least?
Yeah, mostly TikTok. I'm really trying to define what it is I want to put out as like a brand, So
Right.
TikTok is what I know best, and I know that I can make a video every day. I can take that content and
Right.
repurpose it onto Instagram. But the whole being an influencer or doing this, being a creator full time, is a lot. There's a lot more moving parts than I anticipated. And I need to do a better job at some of these other platforms, in really defining what I want to do, because yes, TikTok is the main thing right now, but that's just because it's what I'm comfortable with and how I can keep myself accountable.
Yeah.
Right.
No, that's one thing I noticed too, is since it's hard to not spread yourself too thin, but you don't want to be one dimensional,
Yeah.
So it's hard to find that balance sometimes, I feel like.
It's so tough. It's like my girlfriend tells me all the time, you need to post today. You need to put it on something on your story. And I'm not thinking about it like people follow me to see things.
Right. Yeah.
I'm just posting videos that I usually just make something on TikTok, repost it to Reels, and I don't even spend a lot of time scrolling. So, I need to, my goal in 2022 is to take a little more ownership of being a creative and allow myself 20 minutes of scrolling and commenting and engaging with people, and hold myself accountable to post stories and do these other things that I want to do if I want to say this is my full-time thing. Because for the people who really have built a following and a name and a brand for themselves as someone who creates content full-time, I see how involved it is and appreciate it way more.
Yeah, no,
Right.
that's something that I feel like a lot of people don't really notice, and I know it's something that we didn't really think about in the beginning too, is when you start this up, it just takes so much time. I don't know, something so simple like captioning a video or something could take so much more time than you'd expect.
Yeah, that's the worst. It's I'll think of something, and even on a day where an idea comes to me naturally, then I'm thinking about how to put the caption or text on screen, if this would sound better than that,
Right.
what time I should post it at.
Yeah.
I'll be trying to think of a caption and get a phone call, and then completely forget I didn't post, and all this. And it's to remain consistent on a regular basis from an output standpoint is so tough. It's so tough.
Right.
So just trying to hone in on that a little bit more this year, and really take it to the next level, whatever that level is. So
Yeah,
Yeah, definitely.
because I know that I guess as far as financially going, YouTube pays a lot better. I guess brands, it's a little different with brands, but as far as getting paid directly through your content,
yep.
are you trying to focus more on YouTube for that reason too, or?
Yeah, so I've created a YouTube account. I think I have one subscriber or something, just because I've told people that I've created an account.
Yeah.
But I I know I need to get on YouTube. The thing is, I don't want to do myself like a disservice, not putting out the right type of content for YouTube or half-assing it,
Right.
or being inconsistent with it, which is also like a pitfall because I haven't started yet because I think I need to plan all this stuff. So, plus there's so many people who have built like a YouTube following, and I see how difficult it is or it can be, and I haven't even begun. So I don't want to, insult anybody who's put all this time into it and, try to get people to follow my YouTube and all this stuff unless I'm really doing it justice.
Yeah.
That said, I don't know what I'm going to do. I mean, I don't know if it's about just getting started and making some vlog type of content to, I don't know, expand on like how people's relationship with me. Maybe that's like another way for them to get to know me a little bit more or something like that. Or if it's like some sort of sketch comedy or skits, that would make sense for YouTube, or maybe a mix. But it's something I really want to get into because I know the money's there. I know longevity is there on or on YouTube. It's like, your videos can circulate forever. And
exactly, yeah.
I mean, there's like, channels and shows that are run strictly through YouTube. So that's just a whole other realm of like content creation and partnerships and collaborating that, I'm hoping to really get into and take ownership of this year. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. No, I think you're so right about that, of like not knowing what to put on YouTube. Cause we've put like a variation of stuff. Like we try to do vlog, we try to do like personality stuff, kind of more real stuff.
We've even done skits. We've tried to do like everything.
It's just
much.
Like
we just don't know. Like,
but like to your point is we don't want to, like, we wanted to put out one per week, but we don't want to, like you said, we don't want to like sacrifice the quality of content that we feel like we should put on YouTube.
Yeah, it's so tough because user generated content type of like stuff, like TikTok is a little bit more conducive to that because you could just whip your phone out and set it down and create something or film yourself without even having like a concept in mind. Like you can talk to the camera, say something funny, go viral, gain 10,000 followers, and then keep rolling with it, and it might take you 5 minutes. Whereas YouTube, there needs to be more thought that goes into the videos. I feel like you have to have high quality production. So if you're going to do any vlog type of content, you need, I mean, iPhones are, pretty solid camera wise, but you still need to make sure the audio's there. You have to spend time editing these videos or outsource that if you don't know how to do it. And then all of the SEO and everything that goes into trying to get
so much
seen. Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. So, YouTube, I don't know. I'm caught in between that. Like, I really need to have a plan for it and I need to get started or I'm never going to get started. So I don't know. Hopefully I will just get started, like actually get it rolling soon, but I don't know. It's tough.
It's absolutely tough. Like I don't know. YouTube's just a whole different game, and followers is a whole different game too. It's like if you get like, if someone huge on TikTok or Instagram gets like a couple thousand subscribers on YouTube, that's like a big deal. Just like to carry over.
Like 5,000 on YouTube is huge to me.
Yeah,
like we don't have that, but we have like 400. But
we have like 400.
That's solid though. That's still solid. But I hear you. Like trying to gain a following on YouTube. I mean, I guess it's just because it's not as conducive. It's not like a social media site, it's not as conducive to people watching as TikTok, where they can just hit the little plus button by your profile picture and follow you right there. I mean, they can on YouTube, but like when you're watching YouTube, sometimes you don't pay attention to the channel that you're watching. You just watch the video. And if you find yourself watching a lot of those videos that they're getting recommended, maybe you'll go, subscribe to the channel or whatever. But I don't think I subscribe to like anybody on YouTube. I think when I go on YouTube, I'm just like on YouTube and that's it.
That's a really good point too. 'Cause I guess, yeah, they don't really make it as easy to follow or look at other videos because you kind of have to go into something else. And then when I'm on YouTube and I'm looking for something, like I'm like, okay, I got my information. I'm ready to get out, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're not
And then
scrolling, you know.
Yeah, it's like whatever's on the recommended, you just want to jump right into,
Right.
you know?
Right. Exactly. So yeah, YouTube is pretty crazy. But I mean the long term, you know, positives are if you really start to build a following there and get a lot of viewership and build a loyal fan base, I feel like that like exponentially grows over time, and all those old videos will, you know, get those residual views and things like that. So yeah, earning a subscriber is a lot harder there. But I guess that's why they, you know, they're better with paying creators and advertising and things like that. So shout out to all the successful YouTubers out there. It's not easy. So
yeah,
for real. Yeah.
No. I want to get back to social media, but first, before I forget to ask, did you always have the stash, or?
Oh, dude, I wanted to ask
yeah,
some questions about that.
Yeah,
I definitely want to ask about
too, dude. You got the whole, like, you got a goatee and stuff.
I need some advice because I don't know how to like maintain it or anything. Like I just grew this.
Me neither.
Like, this is the first time doing it.
Yeah, I didn't always have it. It was sort of another, you know, yeah, it came of COVID and the pandemic and being inside. I had a friend of mine who I thought was hilarious and I think is hilarious, and I told him to get on TikTok. And I was like, you would be successful on TikTok and blah, blah, blah before I was on it. And I mean, I don't know if you guys want to include this or not, but beginning of the pandemic, I lost my job. Like that's what happened. That's why I was spending so much time on there. And then when I lost my job, I was talking to this friend. I told him he should get on TikTok because he's funny. And he was like, why don't you just do it and stop telling me, and you get on TikTok and just shave your beard and have a mustache and be funny. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to do that just to like do it out of spite. And, you know, I also was thinking about getting TikTok in general just to, you know, I had time on my hands, but so I did it, and I figured it could be a good identifier. You know, if I was going to post videos, it's like something that, I mean, a lot of people have mustaches, but if I can just keep it as part of like the brand, I'll just like stick with the stash. And yeah, I just did. And it was something that I saw people commenting on like from the beginning. So I had like instant like verification that it was, you know, working as like some way to recognize me. So basically a TikTok thing though.
It's definitely, I mean, it definitely worked because I mean, people definitely recognize you with that. I feel like mustaches in some way make people funnier anyway. I don't know what
why
it is,
is
but
that? Why is that?
Personality, like I don't know. It adds
just
something.
assuming like if they have one, then maybe they're a little goofy, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know.
And then
but it really has become part of your brand though.
Yeah,
I've noticed that.
Yeah, the stash. I mean, I think it's come and go or came and went, or comes and goes in waves. Where it's like something that it's always just talked about on my page, and then it's not. Like at the very beginning, it was like the only thing. And I used to wear this windbreaker on TikTok. I don't know if you've seen some of my old videos.
I've seen it.
And
it's like colorful, right?
Yeah, it's super. It's like old, like Charlotte Hornets colors. Some old windbreaker, but I wore the windbreaker and had my mustache for every video for probably over a year, and until I was like comfortable enough to like let it go and, you know, say okay, people will still be able to recognize you without it. So the stash stayed because I like it, and whatever, it's still a good identifier. But the windbreaker and the stash were definitely two things that I used to try to, you know, put myself out there and do that a little bit more. So
Right. That's really interesting.
So do you think that like that early on, like keeping it consistent with the same look, do you think that helped a lot?
I think it did. I think for like a recognizability play, it worked perfectly because people were tagging me in other videos with people with mustaches, or like if someone wore a windbreaker or something, they would be like, "Hey, look, you look like Nameless James," or like, "Nameless James, this guy looks like you," or whatever. So I think it worked really well for me, and it was something that I figured if I could come up with a character, after that conversation with my friend and deciding why not just make a video, I have time on my hands. So the mustache and the jacket and Nameless James all just became this like character, and it sort of allowed me to like open up and just do what I wanted to do and goof around, because I figured I'm not going to tell my family and friends. No one's really going to like recognize me, I don't think. If they see my stuff, I'm just going to see what happens. And then pretty quickly, I had a couple of videos do well and started to gain a following. And then again, it was like people commenting about it, the stash and the windbreaker. So I was like, okay, I'm going to keep them to keep it going. So yeah.
That's awesome. And like, I kind of like, I don't know if you felt this, but early on, at least when TikTok wasn't like COVID, it definitely picked up a lot of speed, but early on, like we were kind of on it, and it was a little not, I wouldn't say embarrassing, but it was like we weren't comfortable with people outside of the internet or outside of the app, like knowing that we were doing it. And if we talked about it outside, I don't know, we're just now getting to the point to where it's like comfortable.
Yeah. Cause we like, the whole thing was like, we even didn't have an Instagram for the, like, just started Instagram just because of that too. It's like,
in like August, that's when we kind of started posting on Instagram.
And obviously that hurts us more than helps us. So
yeah.
But I mean, what about you?
Yeah. I was the same way with Instagram from like I had my TikTok. I don't think I started my Instagram until I had like 90,000 followers or something like that. Like and I'm like, why did I not do that? Like that was so stupid. You could literally link it right in the thing.
Right.
But sorry, what was the original question? I just had
I kind of forget, but did you, when you were like starting out, like posting and stuff, were you like a little, I guess, like insecure about people knowing?
Yes, 100%. Especially because at the time the content itself was somewhat like cringy or weird. It was a little bit different than it is now. Like now it's easier to process, and I think now it's more like meme type of content where people are putting on-screen text over some sound taken out of context, make it relatable, make it funny. And, that sort of overarching like concept that everyone uses now. And it's so universal, and it's, it's different than how it was. How it was like people would say funny things or do funny things. And I would take, the sound and lip sync it and tag them and just say like originally posted here. And, some of the stuff was so goofy. I mean, it was like, I can't even remember some of my early videos, but it was way different than it is now. The meme stuff was still there, like, but it wasn't that type of content that did well. It was like the outlandish, like, kicking in the bathroom door, filming yourself in the mirror, saying something like really stupid. And a lot of times it was me lip syncing. And that was what helped me build a following. I noticed after like a month or so, that was the only type of content I knew how to do, was to take some sound and like act it out. And I was just so like focused on making it perfect, down to like the breathing and how the person paused and all of these things, to make it look like it was me, not to like fool anybody, but to just like, so they didn't get lost in, bad lip syncing. And I ended up sort of branding myself early on as someone who did it really, really well. So then I would try to find like really challenging things to lip sync. I think the longest one I did was it was a bit from Theo Vaughn's podcast.
Okay.
And he was talking about a bee and getting stung by a bee, and it was like 45 seconds when I didn't like cut it. He like told this story and he was pausing and all this stuff, and it took me like a couple hours to nail it.
I bet, yeah, wow.
But that was the type of content that did well back then. And you know, it's funny to think about it now because it is a different, completely different app than it was. And I was insecure. Back to the original question. I was super insecure that like people were going to find me doing this. And, you know, at the end of the day, I didn't care because if I did, I wouldn't have made the profile, but I still didn't want it to happen. You know, I didn't want my family and friends or anybody like knowing I had a TikTok account because it just had like a stigma of being a cringy app. And, you know, I wish I got on it sooner and I just owned it a little bit more because even that, it took me until the middle of last summer, like to really start to like take ownership of, I do this regularly. I do it full time. I didn't even want to tell people when people ask what I do when I was at like 400, 500,000 followers. I just I'm still getting over some of the stigmas of being like a content creator, but there's nothing to be embarrassed about, especially if it's something that you like to do. And I'm just trying to remind myself of that.
Yeah.
No, that's awesome. And because you're like, it was a different app. So it was, I don't know, it was almost like, you know, everyone was learning their content and it was less of like a normal like content. Everyone had different content. So the risk of you being a little cringy was like pretty high. Cause like us, I know a lot of our old videos, I'm like, God, why would I even post that? And then now I see like the words on the screen and we're posting a little bit more of that because that's kind of where it is leaning towards. And I'm like, okay, this isn't like as cringy, but I don't know. It almost, you know, doesn't feel as like much of content.
Yeah, you're doing it because you know it works or whatever versus, you know, that's what you want to do. Or I definitely have found myself for a while trying to think of concepts or putting out videos that, you know, when I was creating it, I was like, I just need to keep building a following. I haven't gotten a lot of views recently and blah, blah, blah. And so I did it for other people or for like these goals that really, I mean, I had no control over it, instead of just making something that I had fun making and thought was funny. And I still do that. I mean, there's definitely times where I'm like, I need to make a video like this or like that because, you know, I haven't done one like that and people follow me for that reason. So I need to do that. But I'm trying to focus on just creating something that makes me laugh or, you know, I have a good time doing versus what I feel like forced to do, you know?
Yeah.
Right, definitely.
Yeah, no, that's what, just because we have been focusing on the podcast and stuff, we haven't focused that much on making original content, but it's something that, you know, I don't want to get lost in the trends. I want to definitely like stick with our content and, you know, think about new fun ways that, you know, make it exciting.
Yeah. And I think it's, you know, it's something that is learned over time. I think, you know, I'm still always learning. Like there's stuff that I didn't realize until a lot later, you know, when making videos and series that kind of like formed themselves without any intention of me, you know, trying to like start the series itself. So, it's just something that, you know, I think it's important to remind yourself if you're making content that these things just organically flow and, you know, worry a little bit less about trying to do it. Of course, like set intentions for yourself, but at the end of the day, just try to have fun with it and let it roll. And those things will create themselves, I feel like.
Yeah.
Right.
No, that's awesome advice.
Yeah.
Cause
Thanks.
I feel like, oh, go ahead.
No. I was just saying thanks. Like,
Oh.
yeah.
Yeah. Cause I was going to say, like, I feel like now there's a lot more creators, I guess, this year and last year than probably ever before.
Yeah.
So it's like people are kind of, trying to learn that side of things too.
Yeah.
Of like how to balance that and what to make and what to do and stuff like that. So that's awesome advice, because it's easy to get lost in the trends and things like that.
Yeah.
Yes. Go ahead. Sorry.
It's like relatively easy to, I guess, go viral, because you can do something crazy and obviously it'll go viral. So it's definitely that battle of like sticking to what you enjoy, which we're kind of getting more into. I guess it was just more of a procrastination than anything, just figuring out what we like, thinking about it.
Yeah. No, I completely hear that. I mean, I think if you're going to set goals as a creator, or if you're trying to establish something, that you need to put content out regularly to do, make your goals around those things, like putting out content regularly. Like, tell yourself you're going to do, a post a day or whatever the case may be, instead of, focusing on the virality or whatever. Just set the goals around stuff that you can control. And then, if you're having fun with it and learn, it'll come naturally eventually. You just need to trust it, believe it, refine over time. And yeah.
So I actually did, I wasn't sure, because I know I've seen a lot of your videos before that just went absolutely crazy. I mean, most of your videos, in my eyes, are viral, like almost all of them. So was there one that like just absolutely like skyrocketed you and gave you all like a ton of exposure?
Yeah.
Like when you first started out?
I think I've had a couple of like spurts. So there are people on TikTok who I've seen go from 100,000 followers to 1 million in like a week. And it's crazy. It's like absolutely crazy. But I didn't have a jump like that. I had a couple of smaller jumps, I guess from, not smaller, because if you get like my biggest one, I think was like 100 to 150,000 followers in like a week.
That's really good. Wow.
Yeah. So that was like my biggest one, I think. And that was around a year ago when I did I did a Stitch and I included a Soulja Boy song. It was someone from Gen Z saying, how did our whole generation memorize a phone number like in a song? And I was just like, I don't know what the fuck that song is, but my generation. And I played Kiss Me Through the Phone by Soulja Boy, where he like says the song. And it was funny because a lot of people commented then and they were like, well, my generation would do. And then they did like Mike Jones.
Yeah. Wow. Mike Jones.
Yeah. So I'm like right on the kind of the cusp of those, like,
yeah.
But that was my biggest one. I think I went from, the 300K range to like the 500, like, or upper 400K range, like super quickly. And then some other videos that I did that went viral were like the concept of, listening to throwback songs while waiting for the bus, to go to school.
Yeah, I see a lot of those.
Yeah, I had one of those did really well for me. And, then the videos after did pretty well. So over the course of like a week, I probably went up like 100K, 50 or 100K. And then, and the cool thing about those is that, you're still above average for the days like before and after that like week time span. And then one other one that I remember that helped me a lot too was stitching like the Friday night series. What do you do on Friday nights? And I was, eating peanut butter in the kitchen and singing Dancing Queen by ABBA, just trying to be. And that's an example of one of those videos where I was like, I just need to post today. Don't stress yourself out. Just go on TikTok. And I saw the video that, I could stitch. And I was like, okay, stitched it. And I was like, well, I'm doing nothing this Friday. So I'm just going to like throw on a song, and I was going to grab a beer, but I didn't have anything here. And I was like, well, peanut butter, everyone eats peanut butter out of the jar.
Yeah.
And it did really well for me. I mean, it was like 7 million views or something in a couple days, like 2 days, 3 days. And I jumped, probably 75, 100K then as well. So yeah, those couple spurts were the biggest spurts for me. And then early on, I think I had one video that did like 300K, and it got me to like the 10K mark. And that was like my first initial like, oh, okay, you can really jump on TikTok, and what kind of motivated me to keep going. But yeah.
Yeah, that's really cool. Now, do you feel like, I don't know, this could just be like in my head, but do you feel like people are a little bit more, like they're less likely to follow? Like you can get a ton of views and not as many follows as like a year ago or 2 years ago?
Yeah, I think so. I think for whatever reason, TikTok back then would push followers way more, So I totally see what you're saying. Like a video that did super, super well back then was guaranteed to bring you like a mass amount of followers. Whereas now I have these videos doing pretty well, but it's definitely slower. I'm still steadily growing, which is great. So I can't complain. But yeah, I mean, back then it was like if you had a mega viral video, you were jumping a lot. Versus now, you still get a good amount of followers, no doubt, but it's not like the same. So
yeah, like right now, I think like just from what I've seen and kind of paid attention to is like, I guess 1 million views will probably get you like 20,000 followers.
Yeah, I'd say that. It depends on I think the time span in which you like accumulate the views. Like if it's a really quick million, like within 24 hours, like you'll definitely, I feel like, hit that like 20K followers over 2-3 days. Whereas some videos sometimes are just more of like a gradual, they get pushed more over the course of a week, and you still gain followers from that, but I feel like it's not quite as much. So like, yeah, the instant viral ones, I feel like you definitely like a 20K is probably just about right. Like, you just and it's crazy how that happens. Like it's that's why it's so important for anyone that wants to create content to be on TikTok, because that could be you. And no matter what, if your videos don't do well, at least that one got you people coming to your profile and eyes on your page, and then it's up to you to take that and do what you can with it.
No, and that's definitely awesome too. And I think that, like, especially for some reason, like some people, like it's different for every creator, but I feel like you have such a strong image and like people recognize you so well that I feel like you do have a stronger, I guess, conversion rate or whatever it may be, because people see you and they're like, oh, this guy's funny,
Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate that. I think, I'm definitely grateful for the people who have followed me for a long time. And then the people who, consistently engage and, ask for certain types of content and all of that. It's been really cool to see. And I'm grateful that I wasn't, one of those creators that had a jump from, 200K to 1 million in like 5 days. Not everybody, of course, there's people that I'm friends with and, I look up to that have gone through that. But I feel like there are a lot of people on the app that, had a viral video or two, exploded in following, and don't know what to do, or weren't planning on it, and then nothing really comes of it, or they just feel really, really pressured, and it gets to them, and that would be tough to go through, especially if you were a creator aspiring, and then all of a sudden, you've got a huge following and aren't ready for it. I feel like the more gradual build for me, even though it's been, quick, like to get to this point in 2 years, it's still a little bit more gradual than others. And I've been able to like learn more and be able to, I guess like identify, my brand a little bit more for myself.
Yeah.
Which has been good for me. So.
Yeah, because you like see that in like musical artists and things like that, and they're not expecting it, and suddenly it's just
totally
a ton of pressure, and that they don't know what to do or where to go with it.
Yeah, that's a great example. Musicians who have a viral song and aren't ready for it,
Right.
they just don't. Yeah, might not know what to do, and it's not necessarily their fault. It's just like this experience isn't there yet.
Yeah.
So I mean, the pros, you had a viral, piece of content and maybe have a lot of followers now. The cons is that, it's tough to, really connect with people and build that relationship. So I'm definitely grateful for the people who have followed me and being able to like gradually build and connect with people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so you're at I know it's like everyone's path's different and everything like that. Are you at the point now where, like you can kind of go all in on social media? I guess you don't give us any specifics because, I don't want to get in your business.
No worries.
I want to know, like, does a certain percent of like finances comes from brands, views, or how does that work?
Yeah. For anyone that's trying to get into this for money from views, don't do it because it's not where your money comes from.
Not steady at all.
Yeah, not steady at all. Completely out of your control, and it's not a lot. Even if you're viral all the time, it's not that much money.
Right, especially on TikTok.
Especially on TikTok. I mean, if you can get 20,000 subscribers on YouTube, then fine. Maybe that's something that you can run with a little bit. But even that comes from like advertisements and partnerships and such. For me, it's mainly partnerships with brands that's like the driver there. But yeah, otherwise it's just trying to like connect with people. Sometimes it's creating content for companies to use on their page, so not me directly advertising pieces of content, but not me directly advertising their product, but giving them pieces of content to put to their page to advertise or whatnot. But
like it's like exclusive for them.
Yeah. There's companies that I do that with all the time, and that's a great way that creators can, make money without having to sacrifice like space on their page.
Exactly.
And then it's a lot of pressure from brands as well as, you want those videos to do well. And if it's something where it's a very strict set of guidelines on what you can put out and it has to be edited and looked over, and if it's not in alignment with some of your other content, it's not going to do well. And, you get, as a creator, you get a lot of anxiety about it because you want more deals. You don't want brands to come to your page and see that every deal you've done has a low amount of views. You want the brand itself to enjoy working with you so you can maybe work with them again. So yeah, getting creative in other ways that you can make money are definitely creating content for brands to use on their page, utilizing Instagram. Instagram has way more areas for you to earn from, be it stories, swipe up link. You can itemize like everything that you're doing, which is why I need to get better at it. But yeah, for now it's mainly these partnerships and then creating content for brands to use internally.
Yeah. So how do you kind of like personally approach that with brands? Like, is there like a set of rules that you have for your own page where I'm only gonna accept like actually 2 brands that like I'll post on my feed, and then the rest, if they come to me, I just have to tell them that it's only exclusive content for them?
Yeah, that's a good question too. It is tricky to time everything up, when you have partnership deals coming in, because you don't want to post back to back to back ads by any means. The positive about my page and about a lot of creators is that, you make videos regularly. So I know that I'm going to be creating at least one video every day for the most part, so that like, even if I had 2 brand deals align in the same week, I can put other content out in between to space those out. I don't necessarily want that, but For me, it's like at this point, it's like a dollar amount if that I set as like a minimum. Like if I'm not gonna, if they can't meet me at that rate, then I'm probably not going to post it to my page because I don't want to, taint my brand in any way.
Yeah.
And a lot of times brands are asking you not to post other videos within a certain time frame to let that video sort of naturally go. And if I'm going to be, I take all those things into consideration when working with brands.
Right.
But, I've never been like overwhelmed in 1 month or 2 week time frame with like too many ads for brands. It's more like, I just, if I don't like the brand or if I really don't think I can make a good video for them, they'd have to pay me really well, and it has to be like, you have to be stupid not to take it.
Right.
Versus,
and because you can put more into it if they're able to give you more, because then you can start using better stuff for that video. You know what I'm saying?
Yep, absolutely. Yeah. So if it's a brand that I can, I use all the time, or I can see myself just making a quick video and they give me creative freedom, they're like, make a video just like all your other videos, just like have the brand in it, like have it in there somehow, and they make it really easy, I'll definitely come down on like rate. Sometimes post for free, not all the time. But it really depends. I mean, TikTok, I try to see my page as valuable ad space for these brands, but also like, I'm not going to waste your time and money. If I don't think that this is going to do well or work, let's either not do it, or if you really want to work with me, it's going to be a high rate. I always try to work with people though, no matter what. So if I can't see myself posting a TikTok video, I ask if they need content for their page. I ask if, Instagram posts or stories would work, whatever else they might need. But, it's, creators need to see their page as, a brand as well. And, people are following you not to see all the ads or partnerships that you've done, but to see your content. So you don't want to inundate people with too many of them, but you have to make money.
Exactly. That's the thing to balance. And it's very hard because I think, a point that you were hitting on that was absolutely like, you have to focus on it is like, you have to set a value for your content. And you can't budge on that, because then you'll be undervalued for multiple brands and all that.
Yeah.
So like, I know starting out, we got brand offers, but it wasn't what we thought our videos and views and type of content was worth.
Yeah.
So it was very hard, even though as much as we needed it, we had to say no to some of them. And it sucks, but.
Yep. I mean, I feel you. I've turned around and like countered, with people who lowballed me at times where I needed money, and I'm like, I really need to make this deal, but they just walked away, or I had to look at it and say it's not worth it because of the time that I would put into making this, and it would flop, and it could potentially harm me with other brands looking at my page and all that. So it is tough. It's like, I think at the end of the day, if you can see yourself doing it, and if it's natural, if you like the brand, if you like the people that you're communicating with to make the deal happen, then go for it. But if your gut is telling you it's not really worth it, and you can sacrifice whatever's on the table, it's usually worth it to just walk away.
Yeah. And even at like a later time, if anything changes, you can kind of, as long as you have a good
reach back out and try to offer them something else or whatever. But you gotta set boundaries, or you're just gonna overdo it or mess up potential future opportunities because you created a video that flopped and it wasn't really worth the money. And
So I did want to ask you too, do you ever go like live on TikTok, or
Yeah,
what's your view on that?
sure. I need to do it a lot more. I'm kind of like, it's, I have this laundry list of things I need to do more and do better.
Right.
So
Yeah.
live,
I can relate to
definitely
that.
in that boat.
oh my God, it's like, well, each one of these things is, talking about YouTube, it's like, that's such a commitment. Like you could spend hours every single day, making sure you have what you need to run a consistent page. But you got to pick and choose what you do with your time. TikTok Live is something that I feel like I should do more because of what we were talking about earlier, the followers and building a relationship with them. I know there are people that use it to their advantage in certain ways. Like for me, I could do more with creating playlists and stuff. Like I have a couple on Spotify, and that's a good thing to do while live and all of that. It's another way that creators can promote brand deals. I mean, I've seen chefs use ingredients that they were sent by brands to create a recipe on live, and that's like a really good way that you can charge for that, But
Yeah.
for
That's
me,
a good idea.
yeah, I mean, there's ways that you can use it to your advantage. For me, live has been okay, but it's more like spontaneous and fun and more like I feel guilty that I haven't been live, so I should go live instead of like having an intention and doing it regularly. So I don't know. Another one of those things I need to focus a little bit more on, but I know there's potential with live. So
Yeah. Well, the thing that kind of, I don't know, it's been in my head recently, I guess, because there's some accounts that they just go live and that's how they get their followers and all their income.
And you know
So
what? It's like TikTok is like pushing those. They're pushing those
Yes.
new accounts, and then those people get to like 1,000 followers or whatever, and then they're just like doing the most ridiculous and gaining a massive following, and then they don't put any content out, and it's like, okay, but I mean, they're taking advantage and they're going, they're probably earning from their lives and all that, but it's, I don't know. I don't want to do that, like something like that. Like I know there's recipes that'll work to get a lot of viewers in your live, but I don't know. I want to use it as like a way to communicate with people, not to just try to get more followers.
Yeah, no, 100%. Because one part of me kind of is like it is content, but part of me is also like, but they're, it's not like videos and stuff like that. So, it's that constant thing. But I'm also really worried about, I don't know how like likely or often this happens, but like, because people can get pretty upset on the live and there's a lot of trolls on live and stuff.
Yeah.
So like, what if they go after your account and stuff and, they could report it for no reason, I think.
Yeah.
Right?
That's a good point. I've been, I don't know if I was reported, but I was flagged for, I don't know, I think it was like insensitive something or like hate speech or something, and there was like nothing in my live that was even remotely, if anything, it might have been just because the music I was playing had swears in it, but like it was just like, so that has deterred me from getting on live before, because I'm either one, banned for a week or something, or two, just worried that it's going to happen and, just choose not to go on then. So that's a good point about that. I don't know. Live is tricky.
Yeah. Well, I hear a lot of like, kind of bigger creators that don't go live because of that exact same reason. And yeah, I mean, it's tough because it feels like everything on the app is a little more sensitive than anywhere else. So you got to be more careful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No doubt.
Well, especially recently too, is like we didn't really go live that much. And we weren't really, I don't know, we weren't doing the live matches or anything like that. I don't know. It just kind of, I wasn't comfortable with it at first. And now the past like couple weeks or so, like, some like a good amount of our audience has enjoyed us going live and doing live matches and like kind of collabing on there with other people.
Yeah.
So they enjoy that part, but it's also like, I'm scared that, all of our hard work with our like page, like it could get
taken away like that.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I think, I don't know. I mean, I feel like TikTok, you can at least appeal things and, you know, find a way to reach out to the company itself if there were really an issue. But I've had friends get banned from their account, and, you know, some of them having 1 million followers, some of them a little less, and it all goes away. And they're like, what the because some of them are using that to pay the bills or whatever, and then all of a sudden they have to start from scratch. Honestly, met some super resilient people who have been able to rebuild. But yeah, I mean, they were taken down for, you know, nothing really inappropriate or offensive. It was, they had too many violations of whatever. Someone was maybe smoking weed in the background and, you know, whatever, which is, sometimes that stuff happens. And, yeah, it's a bummer. It definitely scares people. So I don't know. The TikTok Live is something it's a love-hate relationship.
Yeah. That's the thing is like, that's kind of what terrifies me the most is like, it doesn't even have to be your fault. And, you know, you could get reported and lose access to your account or whatever it may be.
Yeah.
Or even like shadow banned. Like if people, I guess, report you, it's, you know, it hurts you in the long term as well as like right now.
Right. Yeah, dude, it's I don't know. It's tough with TikTok. I mean, I guess the best thing is to just stay, you know, lighthearted and innocent as much as you can. But, you know, that's up to everyone else to decide, you know. So I don't know. You can't let it scare you from like posting and things, but it does make you think a little bit about you know, going live or some of the other content you might put out, just because you don't want to lose everything that you've spent so much time building.
Yeah.
So
no,
I mean,
absolutely.
Definitely unfortunate, because I've seen, you know, people who have gotten their accounts taken away for, I guess, no reason, you know, or seemingly no reason.
Yeah.
And I mean, luckily luckily they know how they got there and they can rebuild it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a huge blow though, and then people might recognize them again and just follow. But yeah, I mean, that's really deflating. I mean,
super deflating.
That's why we kind of diversified and started doing all these other things too.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, that's good. I mean, it's a good thing to be aware of. You know, some people, I think, especially when trying to go viral, try to push the boundaries a little bit. And, you know, sometimes that comes back to hurt them. And what they were trying to accomplish, you know, they did the complete opposite because they did it the wrong way. So it's good that, you know, you're aware of that, and that there's creators out there who are, you know, paying attention to what they're doing and making sure that, you know, they're putting themselves out there on other platforms and all of that. So they, you know, they don't put all their eggs in one basket.
Yeah. I feel like it's been happening a lot more recently that people are doing that.
Yeah. Yeah. I think so too. I need to do it a little bit more myself with getting into YouTube and being more active on Instagram. I'm not active enough. You know, and I mean, speaking of lives, I never go live on Instagram. I think I've done it like
same.
Three times,
we've never
maybe.
gone live on Instagram.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what to do with myself on live.
Yeah.
Like, I don't. So, yeah, but I don't know. It's yeah. A lot of people are trying to spread themselves out now, which is good, but it's tough. It's like a lot to do. You know, you got to put a lot of work in to make it happen. So.
Yeah, no, that's true. But
you kind of, I guess, answered one of the questions that I was going to ask you, is like, because I actually, weirdly enough, as many followers as you have on TikTok, I actually first saw you on Instagram, like Instagram
really?
Reels. Yeah, it was just on my Explore, and then I saw that.
Do you remember which video it was? I'm trying to collect intel for myself.
It was definitely one of the ones where I think it was the one where, you know, it's like sitting waiting for the bus or whatever. Because yeah, I've definitely seen a lot of those on my you know, Explore page there.
Got it.
I think it was like the 2007 one. I don't know.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's good to know, because Instagram is definitely a slightly older crowd. So playing those early 2000s songs,
that's true,
does a lot better for me. Also, like, talking about like drinking and stuff does way better on Instagram. Like
Yeah.
I like insane.
Yeah.
Anytime I post about something about like going out or like having a hangover, which is like I don't want to make that my thing. It's just like, you know,
Yeah.
something relatable that, you know, people experience, but those videos do so well on Instagram. It makes me think like, should I just like do more of this type of stuff?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's, you know, I think it's just the demographic, I guess, of the platforms.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Definitely.
no, I think, I don't know. Honestly, I think all your videos, I think you've been on our For You page for a while on TikTok. I've at least seen it because we share an account. So I've at least seen it on our account.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, your videos are absolutely like hilarious too. And
Thanks,
you're
man.
not afraid. It seems like you're not afraid to be like, you're like funny and silly, even though like, I don't know, it like people, you know, it's being vulnerable, you know?
Yeah, definitely. I think showing the personality is something that is it works better for people in the long run if you just do it, you know. And I I kind of try to remind myself of people who I admire in the entertainment space, like big Andy Samberg fan, like always have been.
Yeah.
And he's so funny and he's like a goof, you know? And
Yeah.
it's just I remember watching Hot Rod for the first time and you know, when he used to be on SNL and like all the Lonely Island stuff and like you know, now I you know, I really like Brooklyn Nine-Nine. It took me a little while to actually watch that, but I mean, good show. And
Yeah.
he's someone I've always admired in that realm just because he can be himself and he doesn't take himself too seriously. And it's like in everything. It's like Lonely Island, you know, it's like interviews that he's in, all of it. He's, you know, so
even like Shark Week. I remember like specifically he did like a Shark Week and I was like, this is the funniest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah. He's, you know, he's just a good example. I mean, I know there's others that I'm forgetting right now, but he's definitely one of them. And it goes, you know, back to what we were talking about and being vulnerable and showing personality. It works for you in the long run because it's relatable and it's human. And if you try too hard to, you know, just look good or do something that you think people will like, it doesn't differentiate you at all. Whereas, you know, if you do something that everyone else does and you make funny faces and you goof around and stuff, everyone experiences that in one way or another and it reminds them of themselves or a friend or whatever. And you know, I think that's what helps build a following and a brand.
Yeah. No, that's, now that you mentioned that, I do see a lot of parallels with it. I do see a lot of parallels with your content and like the way he is a comedian and stuff.
I just, for me with him, it's like his facial expressions and stuff. He goofs around, but it's like what every like 12-year-old 7th grader, like when they goof around, like when the teacher turns around and they make like a face or they do like this or that or whatever. I don't know. It's just
pure like enjoyment.
Yeah.
Right?
It puts me back in that mindset of like being just like a goof. And, I mean, maybe some of my stuff has come from, you know, him like subconsciously being like an inspiration. You know, I don't know if I could ever do improv and you know, write and produce shows and things like he has. I don't know where this is all leading, but from just like a personality standpoint, super admirable person. And he's a goof. So
yeah. Would you ever want to do stuff like that, like improv and things like that?
Maybe. I mean, I think the one thing that it's like a definite no is stand up. I don't know if I could do stand up. I give a lot of props to people who can do stand up. I have a couple friends, Marcelo Hernandez, who I went to college with, so funny. And someone I went to high school with, DJ Ripsky, he's hilarious. I mean, the amount of time they put in, the practice. Marcelo used to carry this notebook around everywhere, you know, and write stuff down as they came to his mind. And, I just give a lot of props to people who can do that. I don't know if I could do that. I would love to do some sort of like sketch comedy, skits. I follow people like Devin Palmer. I think it's Devin.
Yeah, he's good.
Devin Palmer is really good with his skits. And then PD USA. PD, or is it PDU? It's PD something.
I think I don't know.
He's got long hair and a beard, and he acts out like a bunch of different characters as himself, and he's another one who does amazing work, and super inspirational to watch people like that, but also intimidating because they do such a good job.
Right.
And there's times where I've tried like on my own, and I'm like, it's just so tough. So I think to get into like sketch comedy or doing skits or even writing like scripts or something like that, I would love to do it as like a group effort with people. I think I work well in teams, and being able to bounce ideas off of one another and run with something. That's where I see. And then sure, I'll act it out. I love goofing around, like happy to do that. But to get into that side of things, I need a team. I need help. I need like other people who want to do it, just on my own. I get too in my head about if it's funny or not. And, I also just need someone else to get the ball rolling and like bounce ideas off of, being alone. I second guess ideas that I come up with and, don't end up executing.
Yeah, well, we've kind of gone away skits, but we love skits. Like that's like, because it feels, I don't know what it is. I know I think we naturally like acting because it's always something that we like to do.
Got it.
But I mean, like we're in if like whenever we're around in town or whatever.
Yeah,
so if you want to do
sure.
that,
I
think that'd
down.
be a ton of fun.
Yeah, like I always tell people if they're gonna make something or they need an extra body or whatever, like I would love to. I love collaborating with people like that. It's just that I've never been around like a group of creators regularly where we can like really run with something. So maybe finding that this year. Maybe it's not about being around them all the time, but connecting with people over the internet and content planning and doing all that to make it a consistent thing. But it's tough. It's like, again, the easiest thing, the thing I always fall back on is I can make a TikTok video today. I know what I'm doing there. I'm comfortable on that platform. So that's what I do. And I post to Instagram and I do other things for the rest of my day, but I need to get into more. So this is definitely making me like re-motivated to get my shit together.
100%, man. Because I don't know, I guess maybe because we were trying to figure out our content, or we didn't feel like we had a content that we like sticking with and stuff like that. We've always kind of kept to ourselves.
Yeah.
But we've always wanted to like meet with other creators and do that, but maybe we just didn't feel like our content was strong enough to do that. But I think like for some reason this year we're feeling like we have to be more outgoing and stuff because I think it would be a lot more fun.
Yeah, I hear you. It's, and I think once you get the hang of it, it's the most conducive to being consistent, because if you could just be yourself and goof around and it works, then you don't have to think so much when you go about creating, obviously it's still a process and there's still a lot that goes with it, but it's smoother than, when you're trying to figure it out. Even now for me creating TikToks, like I used to stress so much about what I was going to do that day and, spend so much time just trying to think and doubting myself and all of that, where now I feel like I'm at a much better place. If views are low, I know it's temporary, and, I just gotta go back and look at some old stuff and maybe get new ideas. But it's one of those things that you just gotta, I think, maybe hop into, and once you get the hang of it, it's so beautiful in the end because you're doing what you want to do and it's making others, laugh. So.
No, 100%.
Yeah.
And did you, I don't know if, I know you mentioned Spotify. Do you make music as well?
No. I wish I was like musically inclined. I just have posted a couple playlists of old throwback songs. Like I'm definitely a music enthusiast. I mean, everybody I feel listens to music, but I don't. I used to like obsess over certain songs or artists and things like that. So I've made a couple playlists. My Spotify name is Nameless James. I've got maybe 4 on there. One of them has like 20 something thousand likes on it. It's like a 90s kids.
Wow.
So people born in the 90s, it's like all the like early and mid 2000s, like hip hop, pop kind of music on there. A lot of T-Pain, a lot of like
That's
old
awesome.
Kanye. Yeah, so it's cool because it's another way to connect with people. To people give me content ideas because they want to, they want me to build out more playlists and stuff. Sometimes people just don't want to build out a playlist of their own. So that's been a cool like added thing for me that I didn't really try to make happen. It just did. And yeah, I mean, I now it's something it's one of those laundry list items where I'm like, okay, I need to spend a couple of days like really honing in like a strategy for me to update these playlists and make more playlists. And then I have to figure out how I'm going to promote my Spotify and these playlists on my TikTok and Instagram. And then if I get into YouTube, so
Right.
I'm trying to be consistent with it. It's another one of those things that my girlfriend is trying to keep me accountable. She's like, I love Lil Wayne. So every Wednesday she's made these templates for me. It's like Wheezy Wednesday. She's like, pick a Lil Wayne
awesome.
song.
Nice.
Yeah. She's like, here's a template, pick a Lil Wayne song, post it, link your Spotify, and at least you're doing something. So I, thank her for that. But yeah, I'm trying to get into it more. And, loving music, there's a lot of artists who I'm friends with or who I've followed for a long time that I really admire that don't have as much of a following or just deserve to be heard a lot more. So a way that I can use Spotify is to like create playlists with their music, like compile, those artists' songs and help them out and, push those playlists too. So it's just more, it's stuff I want to get into a lot more. But it's another one of those things I got to spend time on. So
that cracks me up.
Getting real stressed out here, guys.
Yeah. That cracks me up because you're right though. There is so much to do. It's just like, what can I prioritize right now?
I know. It's like, yeah. You don't want, and it sounds so ridiculous. Like that's the thing of being like embarrassed to say you're a creator or whatever. You're like, man, I really got to work on my, throwback bus stop 2007 nostalgia videos today. And you're like, you have a backpack on and you're like, rapping some Eminem song and you're just like, what am I doing? Like, is this a really good priority for me today? Did I like eat today? Did I like, but yeah, there's all, everything that you can build a following on. You could spend hours every day focusing on a strategy to increase that following. So it's like maximizing how you build a following on all these platforms at once. Or, sorry guys, I'm getting a call. 1 second. Can you still hear me?
Oh, no worries.
Yeah, it's like my thing was full screen, so it slid you guys to the side.
Okay. Yeah, it's still going.
Yeah,
so
it's
okay, cool.
Right now, so.
But yeah, basically, building a following on all of the platforms at once is tough, and you could really spend hours each day focusing on each one, and you still would have a long way to go. So again, it's like maximizing your time, having good time management, like organizing, what the priorities are, like where you should focus. If something's working better for you, like, do you focus more on that to keep driving it? Or do you say, okay, this is solid right now, let me spend more time on this other thing to try to get that going a little bit more. So it's a lot. Like the creative space is not all like fun and games. I'm not going to complain because it's definitely the most fun I've had in my life, just being able to have fun and goof around and make people laugh. And again, trying to take it as far as I can go, but it's daunting. I mean, and seeing some people like who have massive followings, it's like, and a loyal following. Like YouTube wise, always watching Cody Ko and Noel Miller.
Yeah.
And I mean, to see those guys go from Vine to where they are now, and you know, all the different things that they've been involved in is amazing. But it's scary to think that like I'm at ground zero when it comes to YouTube. I'm nowhere near as like big as other people on TikTok or Instagram. It's just making it work now. And again, building a good relationship with your followers. It's, you know, I'm trying to remind myself it's not all about the numbers and the following and all of that, but it does, you know, matter. You can't lie and say that it doesn't. So, you know, yeah, it takes time. It takes a lot of time, a lot of strategy. That's why it's good to connect with other people and, you know, see what they're doing and, you know, try to help one another.
Yeah. And you mentioned Vine, because I know you started TikTok, I guess, relatively late because you didn't want to like create or be in that spotlight.
Yeah.
But did you do Vine at all, or what was your experience?
You know, I had a Vine account. I made maybe a couple videos, but it was like not really anything. I was just goofing around. It was like a new social media that was like, you know, easy enough, but I didn't have a following there by any means. You know, just a normal Vine user.
Yeah.
But that was it. I mean, other than that, it was actually my background is writing. So I would write a lot of articles, and I worked for a company that, you know, we were a writing services company. You know, that's where I learned, I guess, the content, you know, how to approach content and personal branding. But it was never like video content or like comedy or anything like that from the beginning. It was, you know, TikTok is like the first step into that. Yeah.
Okay. And with that writing, does that have anything like any correlation to like scripts and things like that?
No, not really. It was more like, I was trying to find a way to, well, thinking back on it, I mean, I guess at first I started out by doing like interviews with artists and musicians and stuff like that who were local.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I had, you know, some friends and I had a small page on Twitter and a couple other, I don't know where we had it, maybe Instagram and stuff, but we were like releasing volumes so we compile a bunch of articles, and I was really just like, I wanted to do it. And then that sort of just, you know, died out, and I got reconnected with a friend of mine from high school who was seeing me post articles on my Facebook page in like 2016, maybe 2015, 2016. I was trying to find a way to just like write something because I wasn't doing these interviews anymore. So I did like a review of like some albums that I liked and stuff like that. And then this person I was reconnected with introduced me to his older brother, who had a huge following as a writer on Medium and Quora. And he had written a book. And, you know, he gave me a ton of great lessons about content and, you know, specifically writing, but about content in general. And, you know, definitely learned a lot from him and from the agency that he started with his co-founder. And it was a really good experience. I mean, writing, it was all personal branding and just, you know, everybody has something to offer. So I would write a lot about, you know, habit building or like, you know, time management because I played football in college. So I would just do little articles that are like, you know, the 3 biggest keys to managing your time in, you know, 2016. And, you know, I would write something like that and talk about my experience from football, talk about what those time management things are, like those tidbits that I would give people, you know, correlate it, you know, for my life, you know, whatever I was doing at the time. And then, I mean, you really could just build a following by putting things out there. And that's what taught me to start putting things out there. And, you know, there was no, I wasn't an expert in anything, but I was just writing, at one point an article a day, basically, for a couple of months and posting pretty regularly. Ended up getting published in Business Insider and Fast
Wow.
Company.
Wow.
Yeah, just one or two pieces of mine. But it was a great experience, and I learned a lot about content from that, and then that sort of took a back seat. Writing itself took a little bit of a back seat, in the past 2 years or so. But it's something I want to do more of and get back into. It's a lot to do to sit down and write, but that's where I learned my content marketing principles and all that.
That's really cool. Are you on
crazy.
Mediums right now? Or?
Yeah. I mean, on Medium, I haven't logged into Medium in a long time. It's Jack Martin on Medium, and
Okay.
yeah, I probably need to update a lot of stuff, and I need to just go look at what the hell's going on there, because I haven't logged in in a long time. But yeah, if you're on Medium and you want to throw me a follow, sounds good to me. I mean, I should probably jump back into it.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Because you really, is that like your favorite thing to do? Writing?
Yeah, I mean, well, now it's like making these videos. I have so much fun with these, so I'd rather do video. I'm more comfortable doing video now. I do love writing. I want to get back into it. I need to get reacclimated, because it's something where, like TikTok, when you're starting out, you don't really know what to do, and you have to force yourself not to think so much about what you're doing and just run with something, find an idea, look for a question people are asking. Like, if you know about something or you feel like you can talk about something, just start writing it out, organize it, like even make like bullet points and then just flesh it all out later. But yeah, writing, I mean, it just takes time. Like, it takes a lot of time. Unless you're like doing it every single day, and then you can, you can start to crank it out. But yeah.
So do you think that's like something it might be something that like you would want to like have to reanalyze, but would it be like a hobby for you that you would love to continue to do?
Yeah, I think I can offer a lot of advice on content marketing on TikTok, on other platforms, and whether I'm speaking to brands or creators, I'm just giving advice. That's it's a good avenue for me to talk to people and message people. And articles are great. Writing is great because you can always like point people to those things, where sure, you can point people to like certain videos and stuff, but like if I just showed somebody my page, I'd have so much explaining to do on why it's working or what works the best, how to approach it for whatever they're doing, versus like I can send someone an article where I talked about those things and they can say, okay, this is what he did, this is the greater lesson, here's how I can apply it to my stuff.
Okay, that's a really good point. Yeah. Because sometimes I'd rather just, if I don't know about something, I'd rather just be able to just read through it. I want to know everything,
Yeah. I mean, if you guys like, writing wise, if you have experience podcasting, even if there's podcasters who have a bigger following and all that, you could still, what's the one biggest mistake you guys made when starting out a podcast? What are the 3 hardest things about podcasting in 2022? Like, you guys have the answers. Like, you guys, whatever your opinion is. So, writing that stuff out and, posting those things and then directing people there is a good way to build a relationship with people, a good way to brand yourself too. Again, just writing is time consuming, and that's a whole other project that you need to learn how to push and try to get published, and you have to know something about SEO to make sure your articles are seen, all of that. So yeah,
that's a good point. I was just gonna say, like, throughout school, I didn't really like writing, but when I kind of could write about stuff that I enjoyed, I went through like a phase towards the end of college, like probably like, I don't know, 3-4 years ago, to where I like just enjoyed it. Like nothing would be nicer than just drink some tea or something and just type away. I don't know, something like that.
Yeah, I always tried to write about something that I had fun talking about. So like the article, and they did well for me. The article that was published to Business Insider was like what entrepreneurs could learn about content marketing, I think it was, or like what entrepreneurs could learn about like content marketing or personal branding from rappers. And I think I did it like from Drake specifically.
Oh, that's good.
That's
and I just talked about
read that.
I just talked about how I forgot what the points were. It was a couple of years ago, but it was just the way he branded himself, the way he advertised his music, the way he worked with other brands and things like that. And I related it to like startup founders who were looking to brand their company. Writing too, if you want to get published, you need to go to these publications and see what they're publishing and think, okay, is that something I can speak on? And then when you're writing, you have to think, okay, how can I give the reader something so the reader reads this and feels like they've gained something from it? And then two, how do I get them to trust me? And that's by speaking on, personal experience and sharing what you know, because no one can take that away from you. No one can take away the fact that you've started this podcast and that you can talk about what it takes to start a podcast.
Right.
It's just what you know and what you've learned, and people see that as valuable because there's a whole subset of people out there who haven't started one that want to and would listen to that advice. So it's a valuable way of communicating, especially for like evergreen material that summarizes strategy or like tips. And then you can leverage it to like send people to your other pages and all that. But yeah, it is it's time consuming.
Which you figured out the SEO from that and stuff, and you kind of learned that way, or
not a ton. In respect to SEO, I mean, it's like it doesn't matter. Well, it does matter. It matters everywhere, but I don't think you need to worry about it as much unless you're doing like trying to drive people to like a company blog and show up in search, and all of that. But otherwise, writing wise, the way to be successful is write on platforms that are like social platforms like Medium. Don't try to drive people to like a blog because you have to drive people there versus people could organically come up on your material on some of these other like social places where you can publish. And then, I mean, conceptually, when you're writing a piece, make sure that they're getting some sort of value, make sure you're talking about your personal experience with it. So you can feel like you can speak on it, and then, and they trust you, and then, try to syndicate or get published, with like in publications where they're publishing that sort of material. If there's publications that talk about podcasting all the time, those big ones like Business Insider or Fast Company, they're massive. So I'm sure you could get pieces published there, but you got to connect with someone there. You have to send them material. It's oftentimes good to have a bunch of articles already before you start doing that. You can show that you do it regularly and all of that. But yeah, there's a lot that goes into writing and, publishing content on a regular basis. And I think that's maybe why I put it on the back burner a little bit, because again, if I jump back into it, I don't want to do it and then not leverage what I'm doing, because I'm not focused. So yeah.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. Yeah, I think writing is just so interesting because one, it's essential. Like everyone's going to need to read about like an article, whether it's something that they have to learn, whether it's something that they are interested in.
Yeah.
You know, it is such a big thing that I feel like a lot of creators, there's not that many creators that I know of that are writing as well, you know?
Yeah. It's I mean, I think a lot of people can do it. I mean, you do have to know how to write a little bit. And if you aren't a great writer, you should definitely have somebody edit or get some help because, I mean, if it's a bad read, then it's not going to do much. But everyone has the ability to share insights about personal experience. And that's, I think, the key to unlocking material. It's just like, from a writing standpoint, it's like, what can you offer people? What are people looking for that you have or know about? And then, you know, taking that and repurposing it. Like, you could even talk about like a morning routine or like why you stop drinking caffeine and like the 3 benefits you see from it. It's just, you know, those types of things. Because if you've done that and you said like, I used to drink coffee all the time and I quit coffee and here's what happened, like people aren't really going to, you know, look that far into you and like who makes this guy the coffee expert. It's like, okay, this is someone who did it and now they stopped and this was their experience. So this is valuable to me as someone who's trying to stop drinking a lot of coffee. But it's just unlocking that and like knowing that it's okay to talk about something, even if you feel like you're not an expert. Everyone has experience. So talking about those things is important.
Yeah. No, and I also wanted to ask you too. It's kind of like a different topic, but same kind of thing. Is like, what do you like? It seems like you're very connected to music, but like, what is it about music that you connect to really well and motivates you and things like that?
I think it's the admiration. I wish I could do it like some of these people do it. And I mean, music is such like a feeling based, I don't know, like thing. I don't know the right word for it, but it's you know, I played football my whole life. I played through college, like at Division III, but like music was like, it was in my ear all day long, like working out, like getting ready for games or practices, you know, like on walks between class, like, you know, just to stay like up tempo and like high energy. And then it was just, I mean, I've always just had a love for music, like really good music, and, you know, a respect for people. Like, I mean, when I really started listening to like rap music and like I heard people who were just like witty or clever or like, you know, some of this stuff, I was amazed. Like I was amazed as like a 10-year-old kid, and like the stuff that flew over my head that I like heard years later, I was like, man, like that ability is crazy. And as a writer, like some of the metaphors or similes that people make in their music is like, it's so clever and just, I don't know, awesome. So music has just always been a part of my everyday. Like I try to jam out every day, and
that's awesome. Do you play instruments, or
no.
Is it just strictly it's just strictly listening right now?
No, I just listen. I get like way too into it. I'll be like, I mean, I annoy people sometimes with reciting lyrics like just at random for minutes on end, just because I needed to like blurt it out. But I mean, I just love music, and, you know, respect the people that can do it at such a high level, because it's really hard and it takes a lot of talent, no matter what type of music it is. So for anyone to be able to succeed in that realm, all the props in the world. That's why I started interviewing musicians and stuff when I started writing, because I respected the hell out of it so much, and people who were really committed to making it. So it's just, I don't know, part of me, I guess.
Yeah. Do you think that's why you kind of took to lip syncing a little bit, like more?
Yeah. I think maybe I think music and my page have always had this relationship, and now it's like I'm playing, like now some people specifically follow me for music, not everybody. But I'm not doing anything groundbreaking. I'm not, finding the newest artist to listen to. There's a lot of pages on TikTok that are awesome where they're shouting out up and coming artists, or, if you like this person, you should listen to these 3 people. Like, love that. Love people that break down music. That's not my page. My page is just reminding people of good music, or showing people maybe some new stuff that I'm listening to. Just to be like, it's just a feeling thing. Like, sometimes how have more people not heard this song? And I just have to, or like, how do people not remember this? Like, how iconic this was. I need to like do something about it. So, yeah.
Just showing everyone your passion for it.
Yeah. Right? Yeah, exactly. So,
yeah, but it's funny, like something that you're saying, like I respect it so much, but like sometimes, I don't know, sometimes I'll be like, oh, that's easy. I'll let me try that, and I'll like just try out like one of those softwares for music, and I'm like, I try it for like an hour, I'm like, nope.
It's so
never
hard.
Touching that again.
Yeah, the people that produce music and like use all these softwares and stuff to do that, and then outside of that, people that can play instruments, and just having the ability to like even put the thoughts together to create something, that sounds good and that people want to hear, and then people want to hear over and over again is crazy, and it's I mean, I just respect. I think there's a lot of people out there that don't appreciate how much goes into it. Maybe because there's a lot of mainstream music that is bad, or it just gets pushed by major labels and it's really not that, great. But yeah, I mean, it's tough to do it. So it's like all the respect in the world to the people that do.
Yeah. No, that's an awesome point. Yeah.
I mean, it's definitely incredible humbling. How many skills you have to make music.
Oh my God.
To know how to use an instrument or be able to sing, like that's even more crazy.
Yeah.
And then just like all the software, all the production that goes into it.
And then you have to have the personality to like own it if you're going to own it. And, sometimes you really, really have to put yourself out there to even get seen, or make any noise. And, you got to spend a lot of money on yourself, with these softwares, or with studio time, or with promoting your stuff, and hiring a manager or whatever, and booking venues and traveling. It's just, people who are committed to that are, they should be hired for every position they apply to and stuff. Cause those people are hard workers, and, they deserve all the respect that they can get. And, hopefully some of those people who don't appreciate music as much start to realize, like, it takes a lot.
Yeah. It takes a lot of confidence too. I mean,
totally.
Like, I don't know.
Yeah. Like you were mentioning stand-up comedy, and that's, I think that's the like hardest form, is just like to come up from, you start with nothing, and, you're standing up there by yourself, like trying to come up with all this stuff. It's like, I see music and stand-up comedy like kind of go hand to hand with like something like that. It's like,
totally.
It takes a lot to be able to do that.
It's hard enough, like add in a crowd too, just to have to like work the room and everything like that. That's incredible.
It's crazy. I went to a comedy show last week at the Laugh Factory here in Chicago, and same thing I was thinking. Like, I'm looking at these comedians on stage, and I'm like, how do they do it? Like, how do they just keep people entertained? And like, even, the comedians who seemed newer or seemed a little less experienced, they still did a great job, and it's, I would freeze up there, and I'm assuming that they spent a lot of time thinking about their set and what they were going to do. And it's, it's super admirable. It's a great comparison to musicians, because comedians have to work really, really hard, to make any sort of traction in that space. So, props to them. That's why just admire creators so much. I mean, you know, that's what part of what took me so long to like own being a creator is that I don't even like consider myself in the same realm as some of these people who are so insanely talented and driven to succeed in that space. Whereas I got into it as like I'm like, I know how to do content marketing, and if I be myself, I think I can build a brand. But you know, I'm grateful for people that have followed me or interacted with my content. I appreciate all these other creators who, you know, whether they're a musician or a comedian or what, just doing their thing, because it's not easy. And, there's a lot that goes into it that people don't realize and don't respect enough. So they get all my respect.
Yeah. No, 100%. And I think we're seeing a lot more, especially on TikTok.
Yeah,
of
say that.
Like people, there's more like valuable creators on there now than like originally. Like people think that like TikTok is, I don't know, everyone's, because it started out as this, but people's instinct is to go, oh, it's dancing and music or whatever.
Yeah.
But there's so much more like creators that are coming out and like people that can draw and things like that.
Yeah.
That's just insane.
Yeah, absolutely. Like people, I think any sort of skill set or talent that you have, like if you don't have a TikTok, you need to make an account and you need to just start putting it out there, because it's, you know, people want to watch it. There are people that want to learn from you, you know, or people that just want to be entertained. You know, I'm lucky enough to be in that realm where I don't necessarily have to have like a lot of skill in a specific thing. I'm just, you know, I just like to goof around, and people need people to like to goof around. So if I could be one of those people for other people, that's great.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. No, that's true. Like it is motivating seeing your page, and it's like, it's almost like a relief. Okay, like I can be myself. I can be goofy. I can do that.
Yeah, that's good to hear, because it's, you know, again, everyone can do it. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like I definitely spent time making sure the videos were good. Like lip syncing, I was practicing. You know, it was ridiculous how much time I was spending on it in the beginning to make sure that it was good. But it helped me and it helped build my page. So it takes time. There's process, you know, involved, and you know, I'm happy that I've been able to do it for myself. But yeah, to be successful as, you know, a creator takes a lot. And I'm like, I still I don't see myself as like successful yet, because there's a lot, you know, a lot of boundaries I want to push. I want to go a lot farther. And when I see these other people who are so creative and come up with original stuff, it's almost demotivating. It's like, God.
Yeah.
But, you know, to know that it works to just goof around, you know, in an organized way is good. Like I can run with that, and, you know, just hope that people will keep interacting, you know, as time goes on.
Yeah. And to your credit too, is like when I was watching some of your lip sync videos, like the facial reactions, I think it was the Office sound.
Okay.
It's like the like where they just like were like hi, you know, like out of nowhere.
Yeah.
It was like that. The facial reactions were on point. Like that's
what
like
I'm
such an underrated part of it.
That's what I try to pull from like Andy Samberg. It's like those types of things where it's like the little things that make it real, I guess. Because there's times where I make videos and I execute it, even if like the lip syncing is there or whatever, but I don't like how it looks. Like something just doesn't look like it's going to work for me, or it's just something is just distracting and I can't put a finger on it. And it's usually just, I'm not showing enough like humanness in it. So, yeah, I don't know. Just trying to do that. It's good to hear like the feedback about it, you know?
Yeah. And then I like the one where it was like, when I make a video, or when I see my notifications and I'm getting like hundreds or likes or whatever, or thousands of likes.
Yeah.
And then it's that just one person named user 01 something.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
that's like one of those examples of like just everyone could do something like that. Just be relatable, and then just act it out, like own it. Shout out to Hunter the Hill and Elliot Sims. They were the ones that I was with that day. We made a lot of content. They're great guys.
That's
probably
awesome.
good guys to have on here.
Yeah,
for sure. Yeah. But just again, it's like people can make a video like that, but it does help if you really get into it and own it, because then you sell it and there's nothing that's distracting about it. It's just people can take it in and enjoy it, versus if you don't put a lot of time in, or you're a little rigid, like that might take away from what you're trying to put out.
Yeah. Plus we talked about kind of the insecurity thing. I feel like if you don't kind of go all in, you just kind of put some surface stuff that you're not going to be proud of. It's like that kind of adds into it, because now you're just like sad that you're not going all in, and then you're also, it's not what you want out there.
Yeah, exactly. It's like you're trying, but you're like, you still have this wall up, and then you get frustrated because you're trying and it's not working, but you're also a little too intimidated to just really open up the box. So yeah, it's tough. It's like, you just got to trust it. You got to stick to it, and, own it, and connect with people too. I mean, talk to other people on how they've done it, and people you admire. Like, you never know, maybe they'll help you out, or I don't know, give you advice or collab with you. But
yeah. No, that's true. And I wanted to ask you too, because it does, like, people can relate to your content so well and stuff. Do people like come up to you outside, like in, I guess, why'd I say outside, but in real life and things like that?
It's happened. Yeah. It's funny when it does. Usually people are like really funny and nice, and they just like offer a drink or just say hi. The funniest.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. The funniest one was, I went to get coffee with, one of my creator friends here in Chicago, Rod. And I don't know if you know him on TikTok and Instagram, but he's a good guy. And we went and got a coffee and we made a video. And I was walking back home down this alley, and this guy was just like, "Hey, I just saw your video." And I was just like, "Oh, that must be like TikTok's algorithm in the local and just putting it into people's phones." Honestly, but it was that was definitely the funniest experience. It's happened a couple other times, but people are always just like, kind of like, "Good stuff," and I'm like, "Thank you." It
Like,
actually means a lot. Like, I actually love it, and it's just like it's fun just to be able to talk to people and get to know people, out and about, and cool to see that they've seen your stuff. It's definitely a validation thing. Like, I know some people might take it like as an ego thing and take it too far, but it's cool when people say hi and like say that they've seen something, because then I know that stuff I'm putting out is getting around, and it's getting around to people who are nice. Like, they're saying hi to me. So, it doesn't happen all the time though. So.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I was just wondering, because you get a lot of views. You get a ton of views. Like, so, like, I feel like the amount of people that see it, like, subconsciously is just way more. I bet you, like, a ton of people would recognize it if they were paying attention to every video. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I know what you mean. Like, if I were to like show somebody like, this is something I made, like maybe they'd seen it before, but yeah, it's, it's just one of those things that it's not like an expectation or anything, but it's funny when it happens. I like when people, I mean, I like networking with people. I'm a pretty outgoing person. So if people say hi, I like to, talk with them and have a conversation. Usually like follow people if they say they have a following or whatever too. There's no reason not to, I would do the same thing to somebody I saw that I if I've seen their stuff, I've done that before if I've seen them out and about. So, it's a cool thing. It's like a cool perk of doing that. It's just like being able to connect with people.
Yeah. And it kind of, I guess, motivates you a little bit more, you know? It's
Yeah.
like, okay, well, I'm doing something important, I guess, right?
Definitely. And it just helps, validate that, what you're doing is out there and people enjoy it, because they wouldn't say anything if it was shitty or they didn't like you.
Yeah.
So, I try to, if someone says hi or like tries to have a conversation, I always try to make time to do it and, ask them who they are and what they do and all that stuff. And sometimes it's a long conversation. Sometimes it's, a hi and bye, but it's fun. And it's like it's just a cool perk of it, being able to talk to people and connect with people.
Yeah. No, I think it is interesting. I like to hear other people's like stories with that, because you never know. Like I didn't know, like it could be someone like repeating like one line from a TikTok or a video or something that, like what if it's a recurring thing? Like what's his name? Is it Josh Morris or something like that? The guy that dressed up with the orange suit and stuff.
Yeah, hilarious.
Oh yeah.
Like I feel like it would be like something like for him, people are like, "Oh, you're like do that thing or something," like
Yeah, like he's got the one, kind of like he's had that one thing, or he makes those facial expressions, which are really funny. But I mean, I guess that's like how people probably identify when they see him. They think about those things. Hey, you're that guy. For me, it's like the only thing has been like maybe mustache guy or something like that. But or like Lil Wayne guy, because I posted so much Lil Wayne content. But but yeah, I mean, it's been a cool positive of that, of building a following, I guess, is interacting with people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, was there anything else that you wanted to like talk about or anything like that while you're on here?
I mean, not off the top of my head. I appreciate you guys for having me on here. It's been a blast. Definitely down to come back anytime you want to have me.
Yeah.
I got some other people I'll send your way, but otherwise, for the people out there trying to make it, just be yourself, set some goals, post regularly, forget about things you can't control, just have fun and try to connect with as many people as possible, because you can help them, they can help you. You never know where a connection is going to go. So that's all I have. Follow me on Spotify at Nameless James. Follow me on Instagram at nameless.james.
And then
maybe YouTube.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
If you guys want to get over to YouTube, I've got about 1 subscriber and no videos. So if you want to follow me there, feel free.
Got to get to 1,000.
Yeah.
Yeah, help me get there, and then I'll start posting them.
And then another thing, because we kind of talked about it before, he actually brought up that his name isn't James. So
yes. That's not my name.
It's Jack.
My real name is Jack. If you guys see me and you want to call me Jack or James or whatever, that's fine. You see me out in public. I'll respond to both. I'll probably respond to Jack more, because I'm still getting used to people calling me James, but that's okay. That's okay. So.
Yeah, I actually did want to ask real quick, was there like a thought, like what was the thought behind Nameless James, the name?
I honestly, I don't know.
You just thought it was funny? Or?
Yep. I thought it was kind of like an oxymoron, and it kind of flowed.
Yeah.
It was like, I was trying to be like, again, like not tell my family and friends when I first made an account, because I was embarrassed, and, I had nothing to do with my days at that time. So I didn't want like my mom knowing I was just like goofing around on the internet. So I was trying to make like an anonymous username, and like, I forgot what I tried, but then Nameless was like not taken. And I was like, that's too like serious. And I was like, maybe I'll just do like, I don't know. And I just came up with it, and it stuck and it works. So, hey, I don't know. This is what I am now. So
yeah, I feel like your accidents or like whatever like that you just went with have worked out like a ton.
I mean, I guess it's a good username. Like, I don't know. It flows. Like, it's easy to remember. So it definitely helped me at the beginning with the recognizability thing versus just having like a name on there. But yeah, that's, I don't know. It kind of just came out of nowhere. So there's no real story behind it.
Yeah. That's great.
And then I was going to ask you, because I see it in a lot of your videos, is Modelo your favorite beer?
Yes. Oh my God. So I had this whole thing back then when I first started, way back then, when I first started my TikTok, where I was posting videos with Modelo like all the time, or whenever I was posting a video and it wasn't about Modelo, there was a Modelo in there. And yeah, I would share it to like Instagram and stuff. So it was just kind of a thing where I don't know. Some people knew me for that, which was cool. I got away from that. It's like not, I don't know. Now it's like, I don't know. I still love it though. I drink.
Did you reach out to them?
Yeah, you got to get sponsored by them.
You know what? It's funny because I won a sweepstakes with them. So I think it was rigged. It was a sweepstakes that was like, the Modelo collaborated with a streetwear clothing brand here called RSVP Gallery, and they did like a cool collab with like a duffel bag and a sweatshirt and some shorts and like a couple other items. Yeah, so I won that sweepstakes and like took some dope pictures and like pretended I was sponsored. But that's really, yeah. I don't know. Maybe I'll try to find a way back into like, working with them. But I don't think alcohol brands really are on TikTok at all because of the community guidelines and stuff. So
yeah,
that's true.
Yeah.
Maybe Instagram.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, Instagram might work for that, but who knows? I mean, all I know is that I like it, and if you guys are in town, we'll have a couple. So.
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah, that'd be a lot of fun.
Always wanted to visit because you're mainly in Chicago.
Yeah, mainly in Chicago. Actually picking up and moving to Southern California pretty soon. I mean, not pretty soon. I'm in the middle of it, so that's things have been so hectic for me. But it just makes sense to be out there for a lot of reasons, personally and career wise, and I'm excited about the move. But yeah, a lot of my friends and family are in Chicago, so I'll be here.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's also one thing we were trying to decide is like Miami or like California. Like those two are just like, should we go to either one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hear a lot of like tech companies and stuff are moving to Miami. And yeah, there's a lot of people in general, like entrepreneurs and stuff moving down there in general. It's probably a good scene for creatives. For me, California just made more sense. My girlfriend is from there and is out there. And then, I have family and friends out there. I have a manager out there.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So it's just, it makes a lot of sense. And then from a creative space, like being in the media and entertainment world, or, at least aspiring to be more involved in that, it makes more sense to be in close proximity to where most of that's happening. So, I'm excited about it.
That's awesome. And sorry, that brought up one more question for me here.
You're good.
What do you think about agencies for creators and things like that?
I think when you're first starting out and you're getting rolling with it, you definitely don't need to worry about that. You could take deals on your own. Try to reach out to people to gain some intel on like how to charge and how many partnerships to do, and like if you have someone that you can talk to about contracts, talk to them about that and make sure you're getting paid and all those things. But I think as a creator, at some point, you just sort of know when it makes sense. When you're really thinking about it a lot and you feel like it can help, it's a big decision to make because you're usually giving up some sort of percentage of your partnership deals and whatnot.
Right.
But for me, it's worked out really well. I work with a manager who works with a couple other TikTokers, and he's been great. He's helped me understand what brands look for and what their terms are to be able to charge more, so that I don't, sell myself short with any of these brands. the thing is that we've been working on a pretty much an inbound basis. So I don't really do much outbound messaging to brands and try to collaborate with them. I think with an agency, they'll do a lot more of the legwork with reaching out to people. But, you know, if you're getting inbounds, if you have an email in your bio, and you have a manager, you know, who's willing to negotiate and read through contracts for you and all of that, it's definitely worth it. At some point, if you're thinking about it a lot, it's probably worth it to just go ahead and do it. Just make sure it makes sense for you, that you're not giving up too much, and that they have your back, you know?
Yeah. No, that's another part. It's because I think more recently in the last like couple months, we've been really considering it. Because we've really found all our brand deals by ourselves. Like it's been like, it's hard.
Yeah.
You have to constantly reach out, and well, that's the part like, I don't want to have to really worry about that now. I want to like focus on the creating, you know?
Yeah.
Business is essential, especially like when you don't have like a manager or something like that.
Yeah.
So I kind of just wanted to hand off that. It's either get an assistant or hand it off, really.
Yeah, I think it depends. Like with an agency, you're probably giving up more of a percentage, but they probably, you know, if they're a trustworthy agency, they have a lot of clients already. They have other opportunities outside of partnership deals that they might be able to help you out or get you a budget for. Otherwise, if you have good inbound, you know, like a good amount of deals coming to you without you having to do a lot of work, or if you have someone that's willing to do, you know, outreach for you that you don't really have to, you know, pay a ton, or that you don't have to put too much on their plate, then it could be worth it to just get like a manager who helps you stay organized and negotiate with the deals and give them a percentage, versus, you know, working with an agency who you have to put their, you know, their email in your bio, and everything that comes in has to go through them no matter what, for the most part. That's a little, you know, that's a little bit more difficult because, you know, maybe you would have got those deals on your own without having to give up, you know, 20, 30%. You know, so yeah, it's tough. I think finding, if you have good inbound flow, find a manager who will help you. If you really need help getting more exposure, find an agency that's trustworthy. Just do your vetting, and then, you know, make sure that you're not locking yourself into something that's like too long, and, you know, in case it doesn't work out, that you can leave.
Yeah. That's another part. Yeah.
That's the biggest thing probably.
Yeah. But they'll work with you if you tell them, you know, just, you know, talk to these agencies and say like, you know, you don't want to give up this much exclusivity or whatever for X, Y, and Z reason, and stick to your guns. And if your gut is telling you don't do it, then don't do it. You know, and you can survive and keep pushing until the right one comes along. But yeah, it's been like totally worthwhile for me to have a manager. But you know, not to, you know, everyone needs to understand that it's different than an agency that's doing constant outreach for you. You know, for me, a management made sense because it was someone who I could work with, that I didn't have to sign anything super exclusive. I can bring the inbounds I get to the table that I want him to work on. He helps me get organized, you know, put ideas together, those types of things. But, you know, it's worth it for me to do that because I get a good number of inbounds versus, you know, having to give everything up to work with an agency.
No, that's a really good tip.
Yeah, I guess an agency's more so when you're getting started, or smaller creators, than a manager, since they already have all the inbounds going.
Yeah, exactly. So if you really want to get started on something, if you can get an agency and you can sign to one, then that's great. You know, as a someone with a smaller following, and then, you know, I think finding a manager's important. Definitely someone you can trust. But and then I guess it, you know, eventually goes into a whole different realm where the mega influencers get, you know, bigger agencies with more support, more flexibility, maybe around some of the things that they do. But those end up being worthwhile because they get, you know, crazy deals or like opportunities that, a smaller agency or a manager that's not as connected can't really help you get. So
yeah,
that's a really good point.
Yeah, it's sort of like ebbs and flows a little bit, but yeah, just finding, if you can find someone that you trust, just try to work with them on regular basis and don't overcommit to something and just see what you can do with it.
Yeah. No, that's awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah, this has been an awesome interview. This is our like podcast. This has been our longest one.
Yeah.
It's been 2 hours and it flew by.
Yeah, for real.
So it's been incredible.
Yeah, man. I appreciate you guys both having me on here, for reaching out. I would love, again, to do this again at some point. So let me know.
Yeah, for sure. Because, obviously we're just kind of growing this guest-centered podcast, but I do feel like this is going to be like all this stuff that we're talking about, even getting to know you and stuff like that is so valuable that I think months, years down the road, people are going to look back at these interviews and I think it's going to be really awesome to see all this stuff.
Totally.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate it, guys. This was really fun. I kind of want to stay right there 1 second. Hold on.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Give me 1 second, because I just want to do this so I can post to my story. So I'm going to take a picture of all us if we want to just throw up like a peace sign or something.
Yeah.
But
I don't want to vote, but all right.
all peace signs. All right, cool.
That's awesome.
So I'll tag you guys. I'll post to my story. That'll be fun. I just want to make sure I got that because I need to do better at Instagram. So yeah.
No, yeah, it's something that we have to work on as well. We've been trying. Like we did a little like I think we're gonna start to do like clues like for you on the podcast. We started like posting like yesterday we posted
guess our guest. Almost,
guess our guest kind of. Nice. So we started doing something a little like that. Like I did like a little riddle like, oh, he's nameless, but he has a name or something like that. Like.
Did anybody respond and get it or no?
No, I don't think so.
That's okay.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's a smart idea, though.
Yeah, so we're just trying to do that. We actually had one of our someone that watches our content told us that like we should do something like that. So I think it was really cool.
Yeah,
well, I think I kind of
you did, but then
he doesn't like to give me credit.
Yeah. But yeah, thanks. This has been awesome. Had a ton of fun. And guys, Nameless James, everybody.
Yep.
Thank you. Thanks, guys.
You're welcome. And make sure you stay on too.
Yeah, and then
we'll end the recording though.
Yeah, staying on.
Thank you guys for watching. We appreciate it. And until next time.
Hope you enjoyed.